We shall conclude this section with a look at some other items that you will require. A spark lighter is an essential tool for the safe lighting of your torch. Matches and cigarette lighters are unsafe items around gas welding sets. As an aid to supporting certain workpieces during brazing and braze weld operations, it is very useful to have a few fire bricks or furnace bricks. These bricks will assist in reducing heat loss from your workpieces. Do not use standard clay building bricks, as these, if heated, are likely to explode due to their moisture content. Most welders have an assortment of support devices, or jigs, at hand, many of which are made as the need arises. Pliers or tongs are considered essential tools as an aid to handling hot metal workpieces. The correct procedure for opening welding gas cylinder delivery valves is as follows. Begin by ensuring that both the torch control valves are fully closed. The pressure adjusting screws on both regulators must be fully turned out, thereby ensuring zero pressure in the regulators. Where fitted, the stop valves should be closed off at this time as well. When opening a delivery valve, always make sure that you are not facing the gauges. Open the valve slowly, and in this way you will reduce the risk of a gauge exploding in your face, and you will reduce the chance of damaging the regulator. The oxygen delivery valve should be fully opened, because this valve must be back-seated to prevent leakage. The acetylene valve must not be opened fully. Open this valve by no more than a half turn. When the delivery valves have been opened, the cylinder pressure gauges will display the pressure within each cylinder. The next step is to adjust the working pressures. Begin by ensuring that the torch valves are both closed and, where applicable, open the stop valves on both regulators. We shall first adjust the acetylene pressure. Do this by turning in the pressure adjusting screw on the regulator until the desired pressure registers on the working gauge. Note that for injector-type torches, the acetylene working pressure must be set to 35 kPa. For standard or balanced pressure torches, do not exceed 60 kPa. Open the acetylene torch valve by a half a turn and allow gas to flow for a few seconds. This will purge the hose of any mixed gases. During this time, you may observe that the gauge reading drops slightly. Readjust the pressure to your original setting. Close the torch valve as soon as the pressure has stabilized. The gauge may rise slightly at this time, but do not readjust, as the pressure will return to the original setting when the gas is flowing. Repeat the process for the setting of the oxygen pressure. The actual setting will depend on the torch type. For injector-type torches, the oxygen working pressure is set between 55 and 160 kPa, depending on the size of the nozzle you will be using. For balanced pressure torches, adjust the oxygen pressure to match the acetylene pressure, but do not exceed 60 kPa for brazing operations. It is standard practice, after having set the working pressure, to check that the regulators are in a safe condition, that is to say, they have no internal leak. To test a regulator, follow this simple procedure. On regulators that are equipped with stop valves, make sure that these valves are closed. If the set is fitted with standard regulators, then make sure that both torch valves are closed. Observe the working pressure gauges on both cylinders over a period of several minutes. The gauges should maintain steady readings, indicating that the regulators are in good order. If, however, the low-pressure gauge needle rises, then the regulator has an internal leak and it must not be used. A replacement regulator must be fitted. If the regulator is not leaking, then continue with the next test, namely checking for external leaks. Check that both torch valves are closed. Close both the cylinder delivery valves and then, if applicable, open both stop valves. Gas pressure is now trapped between the cylinder valve and the torch valves. Observe the cylinder gauges over a period of several minutes. If the gauge readings remain steady, then the system is leak-free. A pressure drop, however slight, indicates that there is a leak in the system. Leaks can easily be detected using soapy water, which, if painted onto connections or joints, will bubble where a leak is present. Most leaks occur as a result of loose connections. Secure, where applicable, any leaking connection. Don't overlook the possibility of leaks at the torch connections and the torch valves. With both valves closed, no gas should pass into the nozzle. If this does occur, then the torch must not be used. Inspect the welding hoses for damage or wear, especially at the clamp positions where perishing is most likely. Replace any item that is worn or damaged with new or repaired units before continuing to use the equipment. Only qualified personnel must repair damaged equipment.